Hello, and welcome to Stirrin the Pot with good soup and great conversation. I'm Zoe Barajaz. Since we're now into fall, that means soup season is in full swing. Today, I am joined by two fellow soup lovers, Hope Ward and Foodie Frank. Thanks for joining us, guys.
Great to be here.
Yeah. All right. Let's start off with the first question, which is, in your opinion, what makes a soup great? Like, what makes that great soup, in your opinion?
Good flavor. A deep flavor. Something cozy.
Oh, cozy.
I usually look at four different things, one of which is flavor,
Oh.
also temperature. I mean, it's got to be hot, right?
Yes.
You gotta have it piping hot. Also, the texture of the soup. What are we going for here? Is it a more of a watery based soup? Is it supposed to be a milky soup, a thick soup? And then, of course, balance. All of those flavors combining with equality and harmony, and that's what makes a really delicious soup.
Yes, that sounds delicious. So you talked about kind of soup being something that we've all kind of had for a very long time. So what makes soup such a universal food across all cultures around the world? Do you think?
I'm gonna go back to the cozy. It's just like it's warm, it's friendly, it's inviting. I think it's a good little it's a good fridge clean out. Just throw everything in the fridge in a pot.
We are very
I absolutely agree with that, especially that last part about cleaning out the fridge. It's an easy thing. Whatever you have can just sort of be thrown into the mix in a soup, and I think that all cultures can relate to that. Just working with what you have, and I think that soup is really a sort of a unifying force, not only in keeping people fed, but keeping people cozy in the colder cultures around the world.
Now, speaking of cold things, this is a little bit of a controversial one, and I think this will cause a little bit of debate here. But do we think soup should always be served hot? Because there's things like gazpacho, which are usually like served cold. Do we still count that as a soup, or is that not a soup?
I'm not gonna discount it as a soup, but I do think that a key component of soup is being warm. At least, and again, I think the warmth is what makes it cozy.
I think there are specific instances in which a cold soup is acceptable. One, of course, you mentioned is gazpacho, but another one could be sort of squash soups are typically, they could be served cold, like a butternut squash. I don't know if you've ever had a butternut squash before you've reheated it, but it's actually not too bad cold when you take it out of the fridge. So squash-based soups, I think, could be more acceptable cold, but I prefer my soups hot.
I agree. I think hot soup is much better than cold soup. Now, when it comes to soups, they're usually either a broth base or a cream base. Now, everyone has their own opinions on that. Like, is there one that you guys prefer over the other, or?
I tend to lean towards more of like a richer or thicker soup. I love a good potato soup. A good thick one. But sometimes you really can't beat just a plain old chicken noodle.
Depends on what you're going for. Yeah, a chicken noodle or beef and barley. I mean, you got a nice rich broth to it. But I'm with you. I'm more into the thicker soups, your potato soups, your cream-based soups. And I think we're going to have a nice cream-based soup to talk about later on in the show, I think.
It'll be a bit of a mix. It's not super thick, but it is rich. So it's got a cream to it.
Now let's pivot things over to things that are rich. Now, this is something that's kind of a hot topic opinion here is, are things like stews and chili, are those soups or are those not? Because they do have that liquid component.
Right. I think they fall under the same broad theme, but I do think that in some way a stew falls as its own special category. I would almost put a chili closer to a stew than I would a soup.
Oh.
Yeah. If you go to anywhere and you look at a menu, chili is never like the soup. It's just under the options right before salad.
Oh, yeah.
It's always soup and chili.
Interesting point. I hadn't thought about that. Yeah. Chili and stews, yes, a bit thicker than soups, but I don't know. I guess subconsciously I've always considered them soups because they do have a liquid base. We are putting it in a bowl. We are eating it usually with a spoon.
Right, yeah.
So all of those things sort of kind of combine to be under the same classification, although stews and chilies are much thicker. There is one particular soup company that has a big, thicker, hearty soup that they say it's a soup that eats like a meal. So that's more like a chili or a stew. So I guess at the end of the day, I would put them under the same category. But like you said, soups and chili. There you go. That's a good point. I hadn't thought about that. So good call.
Yeah.
Thank you.
We've been talking a lot about these different stories about all these different soups. Is there like a soup that really resonates with you and kind of tells a story about like who you are as a person or like your childhood? Is there like something that really stands out?
Oh.
We're getting deep. We're
Oh.
getting really deep with these questions.
Oh. I won't say like anything going back to like childhood, but I think just I love the comfort that a soup can bring. I like the warmth of it. Recently I really like a good potato soup. I think that that one's like one of my favorites to make, the process of it, and also just to have. Also really love a good like a galamano, the chicken lemon rice soup, Greek. It's delicious. I love the lemon to it. Something about it just makes me really happy.
And as we talk about soup season, yes, here in Northwest Indiana, residents here know how cold it can get in the wintertime. So if we're going all the way back to my childhood, and this is, what, up to like, gosh, decades ago now, to go all the way back to my childhood, we're really looking back. But the thing that really resonates with me in winter is that nice, thick tomato soup with a grilled cheese sandwich. Tomato soup and grilled cheese, that is what it's all about. If you're going to encompass my childhood, coming out from playing out in the snow, a nice hot bowl of tomato soup and a gooey grilled cheese sandwich, there's nothing better than that.
Oh, sounds delicious. Now, I think the soup's ready. So, the soup's on. So let's go ahead and try it right after a short break. Welcome back. We are going to taste test a soup made by our digital director, Hope. So what soup have you made for us today, Hope?
I did like a dupe of the Olive Garden's chicken gnocchi soup. A little dupe soup for you.
It's a dupe soup.
We love a dupe soup. So why did you choose this soup in particular for us?
I've been really wanting it, but also I really like this one when I want something that's kind of like creamy or rich, but not quite thick. So I thought this was a good one.
And who did you dupe this from?
Olive Garden.
Olive Garden.
Olive
Okay,
Garden,
so-
all right.
Yeah.
So are we going
That's
for
really
comfort
good.
or creativity with the soup?
Definitely comfort. There's limited creativity because I did what Olive Garden does in their soup. But
All right, without further ado, let's taste some soup.
It's really good. Can't wait to get some of this soup. That's a lot of kale.
That is a
I
It's
want to get
spinach.
some balance here. Proper amount of each ingredient here. Mm-hmm.
Oh, this is good.
Mm-hmm.
All right, friends. What are your first initial thoughts after that first taste of the soup?
Well duped.
Oh yes.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Very good.
I feel like I'm sitting in an Olive Garden right now with my little never-ending pasta
Yeah,
bowl
where are the
right
breadsticks?
there. Like,
Where
where
are
are my
our breadsticks?
breadsticks?
We need our
Bring on the
breadsticks here.
I
breadsticks.
was on soup duty, not side duty.
Okay, well, what makes this soup, do we think, is special and sets it apart from other soups and maybe even Olive Garden itself?
I really like having the gnocchi in it. I think it's just a good alternative to like a rice or a pasta. I just also really like it. I love shredded carrots. They're like my favorite. So I love having those in there.
All right, Hope, how confident are you feeling in your soup right now? On a scale of 1 to boiling over.
I'm gonna go with like a high simmer.
Oh, a high simmer.
A high simmer, yeah.
All right, Foodie Frank,
All right, well,
what are you looking for
we
in these
talked about
soups?
temperature.
Yes.
We talked about
Texture.
texture. Thank you very much. And we also talked about balance, right? A balance of ingredients and flavors coming out. So for temperature, this gets a piping hot for me. This is really, really nice and hot. So well done there. Also, we talked about texture. Texture is good here. If we're doing a dupe soup and we're talking about this being an Olive Garden knockoff. The texture is perfect. The broth is the right consistency. We've got great balance as well. Great balance between the ingredients, and this is just really good. Like, I can't even put my spoon down, but I don't want to.
What about flavor? What do you think of flavor?
I think the flavor is excellent. It's a good balance of everything, and this is a really homey, awesome chicken gnocchi soup. You did a great job. This is fantastic.
This is
really, really good.
One of my favorites.
So we're feeling this is definitely a comforting soup instead of something that's bold or innovative.
And you know what's even more comforting? You can grab the soup bowl.
Oh, yes.
You can take control of your life by taking control of your soup.
Yes,
I love it.
of course. Any final thoughts about our soup before we wrap things up?
How much more is there? Because I just want
Yeah,
all
this
the
is
soup
so
now.
good.
That's my first question.
I made a real big stock pot of it, but it's in a little crock pot right now.
And is making soup sort of a passion for you? Like, do you enjoy? This is like a therapeutic thing, because I know when I make soup, it's like a day. You know, like you just want to set aside a couple of hours to separate from everything and make a soup. It's really therapeutic stuff.
It's one of my favorites, especially I sound so weird. I love the way celery smells when it's cooking.
Really?
I love the aroma of it, and I just love all of the flavors and just the aromas in making soups, and just again I need to clean my fridge out, and I can do it like this. And you almost always have the basics that you need. It's always a cheap grocery shop to make a good soup.
Yes, that is very, very true. That's all we have here for Stirring the Pot. Thanks to Hope and Foodie Frank for hanging out with us and trying some delicious Olive Garden chicken gnocchi dupe soup. And of course for sharing your thoughts. And a huge thanks to you, our audience, for joining us today. And we will see you when we see you.